Hey everybody, welcome. I can't even say this with a straight face. Jesus Christ, what a day. Look at my hair. My hair looks like I've been shell-shocked. I kind of have been shell-shocked. Okay, so it's whatever date. This is the Kanye West news update or roundup for Wednesday, April 25th, which is a day to remember when it comes to Kanye news. It's been a long day. It is currently 1:51 a.m. on Thursday, and I got up at 10:15 to just a bunch of tweets about Kanye and people talking about Kanye, and I was tweeting about Kanye from 10:15 a.m. to 5 p.m. Ran, ate dinner, did an interview with Yeezy Brown, Austin rapper whose album Judith I think is the closest thing to sounding like Kanye that I've heard since Kanye. I love it a lot, so it was really cool to get to talk to Yeezy. And then went right back to tweeting about Kanye and just having those conversations, and just had a mental break, and now doing this. And then I have to work on the Kanye, or the Yeezus book, and finish up final parts for that, so it's a lot of Kanye shit, but ooh, what a day for it. Okay, so let's just get into it. I mean, we all know a lot about what went down, but just to kind of put it into context how crazy of a day this was on Twitter, by the end of the day, Kanye had been tweeted about 2 million times. 2 million times. Which I don't know if there's been a single person to draw that much conversation on Twitter. The only thing I could think of would be world events or horrendous things like the Las Vegas shooting, or what was it, the Egyptian Spring, and how that was coordinated on Twitter, and so many people were talking about that. But 2 million people just tweeting about Kanye. Crazy. And it started off... It started off so innocuously with this picture of just good morning, and technically the glass is always full. Half air, half water. Makes sense. Little did we know that this was kind of going to be the image that captures the day, in the fact that so many people responding to the tweets that followed felt deflated by Kanye, that he had taken the glass and poured out the water, but technically the glass is still full, right? Oh man. So then he just gets right into it. I no longer have a manager. I can't be managed. I'm nobody's client. Yes, I got rid of my lawyer because he wouldn't come to work full time. Same thing with Scooter Braun. I also asked my last manager to come work full time for Yeezy. Of course, the last lawyer manager said no. Makes sense. This is explaining what we talked about yesterday. People magazine and a bunch of other places had started to write about Kanye's mental health because he had fired these people. They never looked at the business decisions, nothing like that, but just could this only be because Kanye's losing his mind and these people don't want to be around? So he starts off the morning shutting those things down. Good, good. And gets more into Yeezy and the success of Yeezy. 160 positions to fill, second fastest growing company in history, which I don't have a fact check for that, but I'm very curious about a fact check for that. Highest paid person in footwear, a lot of fake news. I just want to give you facts. Like, starting off great. Everybody's on board, lots of attention. Some of the stuff that we come to expect. I'm this generation's Ford, Hughes, Job, Disney. I follow the Shade Room. Please never try to play Ye, which could be talk to people and other outlets that are shit-talking Kanye. Oh, yeah, and that's what follows, right? Harvey Levin of TMZ, you're hearing from your future president. Let's be friends. Please never use the word erratic to describe a person who's economically and psychologically empowered. People magazine, watch how you speak my name. You would love a pair of Yeezys. Don't play yourself. Now I can get back to my positive vibes. And positive vibes what Kanye views as positive vibes were not positive vibes for the rest of the world. Kind of. I mean, it started that way. Like, let's be like water. Oh, and Ebro. See, I'm seeing Ebro now. Saying Ebro now. God, I can't say it right still. I'm so tired. Ebro. I'm saying Ebro now. I'm gonna let you finish, but Charlemagne interview is one of the best interviews of all time, which this would be the first time that we found out that Kanye and Charlemagne have an actual interview recorded. That it wasn't just Charlemagne hanging out with Kanye, but actually they talked and have something that's going to be released. And then North finding a ladybug. Awesome. Then we get back to Yeezys. All good, all good. Charlemagne interview just got an offer on $10 million. And it says that they discuss Jay, Virgil, Obama, Trump, and mental health, which is a lot of the stuff that everybody's been wanting to know about. You know, where's Kanye stand regarding Jay-Z? How does he feel about Virgil Abloh getting named head of Louis Vuitton Men's? Which, from his interview with... wait, what was the dude's name? His interview with Axel V. Good old Axel V, who keeps showing up. Kanye had talked about how he was kind of rocked by Virgil Abloh being named head of Louis Vuitton menswear. And it seemed to be in that interview something he kept kind of thinking about and bringing up, and it seemed almost to have a little bit of a deflatedness to it, or I don't think jealousy is the right word, but just kind of like him and not me, which Virgil's been great, but Kanye's Kanye. And I feel both of them probably thought that they deserved the role and probably understand why the other guy got the role, but it's still one of those things where you wish it was you. So this seems to be a topic that he wants to discuss. When we become president, we have to change the name of the plane from Air Force One to Yeezy One. People liked that. 72,000 likes. And then we get a few images of the house. Do this look like the sunken place? Which didn't help. One of the things that got followed up on this, Jordan Peele. I was trying to think. Jordan Peele retweeted this one and said that he started writing Get Out 2. Which, funny, but at the same time, given all the sunken place jokes and everything, it's still insulting. So we see some of the images of the house, which, like, architecturally, I find very beautiful. And I don't know if it's just because, one, Kanye fan, but two, somebody that just really admires art and shit like this. I could just sit in that room and write poetry for hours. Like, there's just something about the lines of that. There's something about, like, the Picasso-ness about it. It almost doesn't feel real when looking at it that I really like. And I'm used to the heat of independent thoughts, which is, the word heat has been brought up a lot. The phone call with Ebro that didn't get aired, the first one that set off everything. Kanye said that he was going to take heat for not explaining himself because when the music came out, everybody would understand. And that was one of Ebro's responses, is just like, that means you're just kind of gearing people up just to buy the album or to listen to the music. It means you're starting to play with things that are kind of dangerous. I don't think that's a good thing. But then Kanye has always been somebody that didn't really explain what they were doing, but at least this time he was aware that he wasn't saying as much as people wanted him to, and that he was getting heat because of it. And then we get a hint of new music. Trav, we got to drop the track with you and Uzi this week, bro. Let's go. Which Travis Scott responded with, that's the plan. So we may get music. I'm all for music. And Rocky, we got to release our songs ASAP, which Kanye being clever with the wordplay, you know. And then here we go. So this is 2 hours of tweets from Kanye. And this whole time I'm tweeting in response to Kanye and following up on tweets. And then he gets into it. Free thinkers don't fear retaliation for your thoughts. The traditional thinkers are only using thoughts and words, but they are in a mental prison. You are free. You've already won. Feel energized. Move in love, not fear. Be afraid of nothing. You don't have to agree with Trump, and the moment he evokes Trump's name, you see the ones that got the biggest: music and Bart Simpson color emojis, because that's funny. Music got huge, but then as soon as he mentions Trump, just how insane the Twitter conservative sphere is. And it's been kind of crazy watching my notifications, because there are a lot of Kanye fans commenting on each other, but anything that's like slightly political, I was just getting responses from dozens of conservative people coming in and responding to each other and continuing to push and using the same talking points. I can't tell how much of it is just shared talking points and how much of it is that kind of bot network that you see, or troll network. It was really strange to watch. But so when he mentions Trump, you don't have to agree with Trump, but the mob can't make me not love him. We're both dragon energy, and dragon energy seems to be, from how Kanye's used it, this kind of free-thinking, fierce energy. There's some talkings about it in Taoist texts. The dragon energy is the energy of creation. It's the energy of life. It's what fuels everything. So you can tell the health of something by how much dragon energy it has. And if somebody is healthy, they have a lot of dragon energy. If they're not healthy, they've lost dragon energy. It kind of gets at that vitality that's part of the self. So we're both dragon energy. He is my brother. I love everyone. I don't agree with everything anyone does. That's what makes us individuals, and we have the right to independent thought. So controversial still, because people are very sensitive to any Trump support at this point due to just how much of a goblin Trump has been, all over the place on things. And there's some people that look at things that he's done and find brilliance in it, find hope in it, and then there's a lot of people that look at his cabinet and just find it insane that these people are in positions of power. They look at the policies that aren't getting through, the attempted policies, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, and they have legitimate concerns about the administration. So it sets everybody off in a way. But Kanye kind of calms things down with, if your friend jumps off the bridge, you don't have to do the same. Ye being ye is a fight for you to be you. For people in my life, the idea of Trump is pretty much a 50-50 split. But I don't tell a Hillary supporter not to support Hillary. I love Hillary too. So here he's already clearing the air somewhat with the fact that he doesn't agree with everything that Trump does. He's not asking everybody to follow in his stead. He wants people just to be who they are, follow who they want to follow. And hopefully do so out of love in a positive way, not the kind of negative, hateful way or fearful, and all good, right? And he also said he loves Hillary, same way he said he loves Trump, kind of balances the scales. I love when people have their own ideas. You don't have to be allowed anymore, just be. Which in that sense, I agree as well. Like, there's so much empowerment in today's age with social media. With me doing this, like, I don't have to rely on Complex to try to hire me to do this. I bought this stupid little camera for $75. I got this stupid mic for $90 on a Thanksgiving sale. Computer a little bit more expensive, you know, but then I have this which stares at me while I work just to remind me of mortality. It's heavy as fuck. Like, seriously heavy. But it's easy to start to do things. Etsy stores, drop printing with books, with shirts. You're able to do a whole lot of shit that you weren't able to before, whether that's independent business, whether that's writing and getting a writing career started. There's so much opportunity. So with him saying like you don't have to be allowed anymore, you can just kind of create and do and go, that's very true. It's very, very true. We're not wearing suits to work every day how it was in the 50s, or just out to the movies or to restaurants. Like, it's a really free age in a lot of ways. Love who you want to love. That's free thought. I'm not even political. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. So even there, all the concerns that we've had about Kanye's politics, right? Like, is he right wing? Is he going to be talking about these like alt-right concerns? Is he alt-right now? Excuse me. Here he's saying, I'm not Democrat or Republican. Like, he has thoughts that are his thoughts. We don't know those thoughts yet. We know that he likes Trump's style, but we don't know if that means he likes Trump's politics. Though I can imagine people being confused how somebody like Kanye that would call out George Bush could not be political. But I don't think that was a political situation. He wasn't talking about Bush's politics. He wasn't talking about the economy. He wasn't talking about any of that. He was just looking at what was happening in New Orleans after Katrina and saying, like, Bush doesn't care about black people. Like, he's not handling this situation in a way that shows that. And then a lot of his songs, we view them as political, but they're more social critiques, I guess. Like, All Falls Down is very much a social critique. It's a critique on consumerism, but we view it as more of a political thing. Even New Slaves isn't quite political. It's still a critique of consumerism, and a critique of the social dynamics in our country, especially relating to money. Maybe the closest one is the DEA teamed up with the CCA, trying to lock people up, trying to make new slaves. That's kind of political, but that's not affiliated with any party, right? It's just looking at the fact that people are being arrested for shit that they shouldn't be arrested for because they need to fill up private prisons. So is Kanye political? Has he ever been political? I think that's kind of a question that we would have to discuss and address and look at, because I feel a lot of us really have viewed him as political over time. But maybe that's not quite in the ways that we thought. But all of this, despite kind of the I love Trump, he's my brother kind of stuff, it's still something where people are cautious and explaining it and listening to what he's saying. And I'm also all the way out of the sunken place, and I'm not scared anymore. I'm not scared of the media. I'm not scared of the past, and I'm optimistic about the future. This tweet is in love, not fear. Awesome. With love, I am invincible. Truth is subjective, but love is the... Truth is subjective? I guess people do have different truths. That's an interesting one. Truth is subjective, but love is the most powerful force in the world, and the world needs to express more of it. Agreed. And I think that goes against some of the alt-right concerns that Kanye has, right? I don't think he would be attending a Richard Spencer talk because that's not necessarily out of love. But maybe tomorrow we'll find out. I said express love more because we have love, but we don't express it. My friend T. Mills will always say, I love you, Tracy Mills. And it used to make me feel weird to hear that. Now I tell everyone I love them. He sparked me to start expressing love more. And, I say that to my friends, not all the time, but I tell male friends, female friends that are like my old school friends, like childhood friends that I've been friends with for 25 years of my life. Like, those are the ones I say I love you to. And it does always feel like a little awkward and a little weird. But it also feels good because I do love them. And I mean that, and it's nice to let them know that. When my daughter acts out, she actually says afterwards, I just want to hear you say, I love you more. Which, yeah, I can imagine if I was North, I would want to hear Kanye tell me I love you more. I already want Kanye to tell me I love you more. So Kanye, if you're watching, please tell me you love me. No race, religion, region, or political party can argue with the power of love. Fear takes strategy. Unlearn linear thinking. Hit you with these zigzag thoughts. And as we've seen, Kanye has zigged and zagged in his thoughts leading up to this string. He had been talking about his business manager. He had talked about Yeezy. He had talked about North with the ladybug, and then back into everything and away into things. So, yeah. Unlearning linear thinking, hitting with zigzags, and fear does take strategy, I think, because you become so concerned with wanting to not disturb things, right? You don't want to ruin things. You don't want to cause problems. You don't want to be a burden because you're afraid of those things. So you start plotting everything and overthinking everything and spending a lot of time not acting because you want to make things perfect so you don't fuck things up. And when you're doing that, that can take a lot of energy. It can take a lot of, it can paralyze you in a lot of ways. If you're operating out of love, I feel like you operate more so organically. You know what you're going to be doing is meant well. You know what you're going to be doing is coming from the heart and honest. So I can see the difference there, and I do think that generally speaking, those are good thoughts. Of course, there are examples of both, depending on perspective, that are problematic, right? Like if Richard Spencer truly felt that it was out of love that he was wanting to take people that aren't white and send them to their countries, I don't think, could he really view the world that way and view that it's out of love? Or could, like, I don't know, there's a bunch of like weird things that you could get into with the idea of acting out of love. They could still be bad. But then you could probably have examples of acting out of fear and taking that time to strategize that work. So it's not a, whatchamacallit, a perfect analogy. Of course, there's going to be counter aspects to each one. So then we just get decentralized, which, okay. Burn that Excel spreadsheet, which I think may have been a reference to the original Donda chart. So this is from 2012, and it was Donda Communications Company Categories of Influence Organizational Chart. Lifestyle, home, consumer finance, medical research, trademarks and patents, transportation, management, protective services, marketing, internet, hospitality, wellness, learning, alternative energy sources. These were all the things Kanye wanted Donda to be in, and he was taking this to investors and wasn't getting anybody to bite. So it might be that's what he was referring to with burn that Excel spreadsheet, or it might just be in response to decentralizing. Not really sure. But so Yeezy VC invests in and develops food, clothing, shelter, and communications. And he gets back to that a little ahead of it. But now he gets into, and at this point he's been tweeting still for 2 hours. My wife just called me and she wanted me to make this clear to everyone. I don't agree with everything Trump does. I don't agree 100% with anyone but myself. which that makes sense. And I don't even often agree with myself. Like, I'll be like, I'm hungry. I should go have more food at 1 in the morning. I don't agree with that. Like, I don't need more food at 1 in the morning. But at the same time, don't I? Don't I? It's difficult. Anyway, so this is just Kanye clearing the air again. Another time him saying he doesn't agree with everything Trump does. So we've had multiple instances of him saying, like, I'm not political. I don't agree with everything about Trump. He's said in the past that he respects Trump because Trump has a way of thinking that's kind of futurist, and he fucks with that. Exact words. And I fuck with that. Before talking about if you empower people to speak, then you find out who the racists are. They expose themselves, but that's what we were talking about yesterday. What next? Once somebody exposes themselves as racist, what then do you do? Which I'm still curious on. I think if I could ask Kanye one question about all of this, it would just be what he thinks about that. Like, once you get a point of view that is out of negativity or out of hate, what do you do? What do you do? So here, and you can tell Kim is also wanting him to better explain himself, that she's calling him. She's following along. And following that, zigging and zagging, we get Kids See Ghost short film will be shot by Dexter Navy. And somebody had a good response to that. Yeah, here. My Cool New Shoes. Dexter Navy did the ASAP Forever and LSD videos. Thank you. Where was I? Oh, so we know we're going to get a Kids See Ghost short film, which is pretty fucking awesome. That's huge. And the anti-Trump tweet. So we had the pro-Trump tweet that got 263,000 likes. And then we have the I don't agree with everything Trump says tweet that gets 283,000 likes. So you can really see both groups kind of vying to support Kanye. The group that's pro-Trump embraces the tweet that's pro-Trump. The group that doesn't want Kanye to be pro-Trump politically embraces the tweet that is not pro-Trump politically. And Kanye goes into I'm nice at ping pong, which that one gets a lot of likes because fuck yeah, that should get a lot of likes. I'm 40 years old and I'm just becoming my parents' child. Which, if you're wondering what that could mean, I'm guessing it probably means something like he's now becoming the kind of person that his parents would have wanted him to be, which is empowered, free-thinking, operating out of love rather than fear, all of that. Google supports Yeezy and ending violence in Chicago to start with. Oh, I skipped one. Would be strategic investor, not just a VC, which is going back to Yeezy VC. So they would be helping out rather than just giving money. There'd be strategy involved. And that Google supports ending violence in Chicago. I need to meet with Larry from Google. Absolutely, I hope that he gets to. So all of this is fine again, until here. So here, with the We Got Love, and he is with guys from the Universal Music Group, because he still has a contract with them for his albums. So it seems like he was probably playing the new music for them, or talking about the rollout of the new albums with them, I'd imagine. But the hat. And I'm still wondering what the name of this day is going to be. If it's going to be the MAGA? It sounds so ugly trying to say it out loud. The Red Hat Day? Is this just like Kanye's Red Hat Day and that's how this will be remembered? Or just like the tweet day or like Kanye's Twitter day. I don't know. There's got to be some good name for this day. So people see the hat and they just start losing their shit again. Because it's one thing for him to talk about supporting Trump or being a fan of Trump, loving Trump, but also being apolitical, loving Hillary, not agreeing with everything Trump says or does. But then when you see him in the hat, it has a different component to it. It's visceral in a way that the words aren't. What is it? An image is worth 1,000 words. A picture is worth 1,000 words. So that picture is worth a shit ton of words. And it really got people up in arms again. Following then, my MAGA hat is signed. Ugh, it's hard to say. My MAGA. My MAGA. My hat is signed with fire emojis. And just, again, the connotations surrounding the hat and how so many people have come to put the hats as being in line with not just Trump, but the rabid Trump supporters that are more extreme in their views, that are more alt-right, not just I want less government, but like getting into some of the hateful arguments that people have issues with when it comes to modern day conservative politics. The Tea Party shit. And just seeing Kanye in that hat is a different kind of thing than just hearing that he supports Trump. Like, it confirms it in a different way and carries with it all the associations that we have with that. And then he follows that up with, I'm so happy to hear that Peter Thiel would like to take a meeting. I feel very optimistic about the future. And Peter Thiel's a douchebag. He's very, very conservative and operates in this weird shadow area. For example, he was completely funding Hulk Hogan's lawsuit against Gawker, which resulted in Gawker being taken down. And Gawker was a shit site. They had a lot of problematic aspects about them. Peter Thiel's whole thing was that they had reported that Peter Thiel was gay. And he was not out at that time and was not happy about that, so he wrecked them. But Peter Thiel, as it's been described, is kind of the most rabid right-wing person in Silicon Valley. And it created a lot of friction in Silicon Valley because Silicon Valley's more progressive, more liberal. So to have this guy that was not those things have a lot of money, a lot of influence. Peter Thiel is famous for, PayPal. Got a lot of money thanks to PayPal. So that's just in line, following seeing the hat, and then people that already hate Peter Thiel as kind of the anti-Bezos, anti-Musk, find out that Kanye is going to have a meeting with Thiel is just like another, like, yay, why? Yay, why? And then we get the photo from Malik. At this point, how many hours has it been? Jesus, 4 hours, 5 hours? Keep America Great, Kanye 2020 or 2024 posters are going up. There have been multiple places that these things have turned up at, which Kanye is clearly excited about. And then he shows this tweet. Donald fucking Trump had said, "Thank you, Kanye, very cool." Though I don't know if it was Donald Trump, rather somebody else. But we have Trump now thanking Kanye. And it was a bittersweet, you saw earlier that Team Kanye Daily pulled up on here. That's Team Kanye Daily's Instagram account, Media TKD. So that means that either Kanye was on his phone and has like a ghost account where he follows Team Kanye daily, or a friend showed him it, something. But you know, it's a cool moment for Team Kanye daily to know that Kanye is legitimately seeing what they do, and they've all met Kanye. They have photos with him, which is awesome that Kim and Kanye brought him out. But just to know that the people that you're built this thing around and are trying to support are paying attention to what you're doing has to be, I'm imagining, a nice feeling. So they had this tweet, "Oh my God, that's our account." And somebody said, "I bet it's a bit bittersweet." And they're just like, "Yup." And somebody else saying, "How's your day been, guys? I feel for you all." And they said, "It's been tough." Now, they were smart. They stopped tweeting 6 hours ago, and all that they were really doing through a lot of the day were retweeting, where I waded into the waters and was just commenting and commenting and commenting and commenting. It was exhausting. I didn't get to read all the tweets that they sent out. Yeah, there's a weird thing where people thought that Kanye had lost 10 million followers, and there was just a glitch. There have been people that have been seeing Kanye with about 10 million more. I saw a tweet the other day that said, like, why in your screen does it show Kanye with 20 million, and on mine it only shows 10? And now that he's at 18, and I see 18, but other people are seeing 27, and there were times where I click on Kanye's profile today and would flash from 18 to 20 something and back to 18. So some weird thing going on. But anyway, bittersweet moment for Team Kanye Daily, but they're immortalized in this day, which is a day to remember. So then Kanye comes back to, "I'd like Scooter Braun to be part of the new platform we're creating. Scooter is a genius. He's more than a manager, so is Irving." And Irving's Kanye's old manager, who he had worked with for years and years. "I'm sitting with Lucian discussing the future of the music industry. Let's bring in David Joseph and Frank Bridgman and Olivia Noose." Oh, so I may have fucked up with the guys in the picture who I said were these guys. Maybe he wasn't with those guys. I think I got confused. I mean, I'm only human. But at least a couple hours after the first photo, no, that might have been still in time. I don't know what Lucian looks like. And then he shares this, which T Mills, "Love you more, my G. Thank you for being you. Such a blessing to this planet." And then even Tracy Mills texts him. It's just like, "Oh my God, we have to talk about this hat, bro." I mean, it's already done, but wow. So even people close to Kanye are just like, eek. Need Hype Williams for Nas movie. Like, I feel like he's throwing some things out there now. Just letting his ideas run, being open, like letting the energy go. "I feel calm but energized." I don't know where that is. It looks like Stone Mountain to me, but it could be anywhere. Kanye has access to places I never get to go. So then he gets back into just more of the regular Kanye stuff. "I'd like to meet with Tim Cook. I want to see Nicki Minaj and Cardi B." Whenever someone mentions the word fan to me, it's super manipulative. It's like, don't do or say this because of your fans. My fans are fans of themselves. Nice. "And any fan of me wants Ye to be Ye, even when they don't agree, because I represent the fact that they can be themselves even when people don't agree with them. Drops mic, Yeezy shrug." And that is empowering when you think about it. Like, Kanye is Kanye, and he still puts out dope music. People still like him. He still has Kim, kids, his life is all right, and he's been who he is this whole time. And to know that you can be that and still be successful. I mean, you will have ups and downs, of course, but to know that things can continue to improve and go well is very empowering. Like, you can speak what you want, and you'll find the right people. So I like that. Like, just seeing that, and I think if this tweet were on another day, or before all the Candace Owens stuff, any of that, people would be loving this. It would be one of the things like, Kanye's really back. This is the kind of Kanye shit that I love. But in the wake of the Make America Great Again hats, it was just another thing that started to get torn apart. And then he jumps into pictures of Saint, which, Saint is looking awesome. Little fucking wave runners on, little dog. Like, he's amazing. He's amazing. And then shares a tweet, text messages that he's getting. Whoa, here we go. Chance had said black people don't have to be Democrats, which is getting a ton of flack from people as well. Like, people that were saying that any support of Trump is bad. Hearing Chance defend Kanye has people saying, like, I'm so disappointed in Chance. Like, I'm not a Chance fan anymore. It's really crazy to see. And I know everybody has their experiences. They have their lines in the sand based on those experiences. I'm somebody that's a bit more patient, I guess, when it comes to these things. I want to know why people are feeling how they're feeling, and I want to get the details before I know, is this how they actually feel? Or at least say, like, okay, black people don't have to be Democrats. That's very truthful. He's not saying that they have to be conservative, they don't have to be anything. He's just saying there aren't limits to what anybody has to be. And to have that be something that people then extrapolate to more seems to me just as insane as any of the rhetoric from Fox News or people saying Trump's already making America great again. He's not. He's really not. But it just seems like a very factual statement, like a water is wet kind of statement. And to have people get so upset with Chance over that, I mean, I think it just shows how intense we are about all of these things these days. And I'm not saying that that intensity is bad. I'm not saying that it's uncalled for or that it hasn't been built up to due to everything that's been going on. I can't believe this has been recording for 43 minutes and I've just been talking this whole time. Wow. But that it just seems we're just very sensitive about everything and very extreme about everything. I don't mean sensitive in the way of like, it's just a joke, I can use whatever language. It's not that, but just sensitive to things like this, where it's just saying like, yeah, people don't have to be this political party just because they're this race, is somehow seen as an affront and something to be offended by. It's just intense. Kanye follows up with, let's move in love, not fear. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. Claudio Silverstein is a free thinker. And I, at this point, don't know who that is, but just assumed it was a right-wing person, and judging by these first couple responses, that's, Maz Khalifa keeps posting this shit, and I'm tired of seeing it. I'm guessing Claudio is somebody that I'm gonna be annoyed by, but let's see. Claudio Silverstein. How's this go? How do we even find out who the fuck Claudio? Okay. It looks like Claudio is a designer. Designer. Yeah, furniture maker? Okay, so this is the point where I'm at where it seems every name that Kanye is going to throw out is going to end up being, but that just goes to show that people start to assume where he's at. Just because he named Candace Owens and Trump and shared the Scott Adams thing and Peter Thiel, you start to worry that everybody that he references is going to be in that spectrum. At least I start to worry. And I think other people that aren't on the Trump train would start to worry. But then he's also praised Donald Glover, Hillary, and now Claudio. And I think there's one other person that I'm missing. So he's covering both sides of things, but people are focusing on the ones that make them afraid. Because we are afraid, right? We're operating out of that fear that, like, what if this person that I've cared about and cared about their view and cared about what they think supports something that I don't support at all, and something that I actively am upset about and angry about? Can I rectify those two things and still, as Kendrick said, like, when shit hit the fan, still be a fan? Well, that's Claudio. Oh, we're gonna get to that. Claudio will be awesome when me and Chance build new homes in Chicago. Obama was in office for 8 years and nothing in Chicago changed. Which I don't know how accurate that is. Maybe some things changed, but things were still pretty bad. That I know. Excuse me. And then Trump is getting a meeting with Tim Cook. Kanye jumps in on that. Two of my favorite people. And then him retweeting the Trump stuff again just got people going again. Which was, and I say that from my feed, because I was commenting on most of these, retweeting most of these, and just sitting on Twitter and seeing how it was all going, and it was just insanity. And then Ebru, I just can't say this guy's name. Ebro sends him a message, and you can see the most important thing to me is that certain things are not toys, in my opinion. And I could view him saying that kind of about Twitter. Have I been out of focus this whole time? Saying that about Twitter, saying that about kind of this political stuff. Like, you got to take this seriously. It's not a toy. And also that people know that just because you disagree politically does not mean we cannot enjoy music and our legends. Let me know you are in a powerful, productive place and that you're ready for this journey. And then, am I still flying out? Because they had talked about doing an in-person meetup. And Kanye seems to agree. I need 15% for making that interview matter again, the Charlemagne one, or at least a job at Yeezy. And Kanye just says, I love that. So 159 employees to go. The funny thing, as like nice as Ebru, stop it, man. I'm so sorry. Ebro has been in the tweets and in the calls with Kanye. He then on Twitter and on the radio show has just been like saying kind of condescending and shitty things about Kanye. Seems weird to me. Like, very weird to go from like, man, I just want to make sure this is good, like, get me a job, like, text, to like, Kanye's upset that he's not as real as Jay-Z, he's not as truthful as J. Cole, he's not as, not a good a rapper as Kendrick, and doesn't have the hits of Drake, or can't make hits like Drake. And it's like, what? Like, I don't think Kanye's worried about any of them. So maybe that's just Ebro, like, working up the crowd and getting heel heat or just getting things going. But it just seems very, it's creating cognitive dissonance for me, trying to rationalize both of his, how he's acting towards Kanye and then how he's talking about Kanye. And then that's the last tweet of the day. I did that one for my good brother Puff. Now I'm gonna go watch the Cavs. I don't know how P. Diddy comes into this. Maybe he and Ebro are friends, and that's what he was saying. Maybe there's something else there that we don't know about. The Cavs won because LeBron is the GOAT. Bland. One of the things I just wanted to show real fast, this is the Kanye effect. This is what the impact him getting back on Twitter has had. Like, you can see the spikes and everything, him coming back, profile visits, mentions, followers. It's insane. And you can compare that to our previous month. Like 1.27 million impressions compared to 7 million. 2,000 mentions compared to 1,700. 129,000 profile visits compared to 30,000. 746 followers compared to 278. And like, pale. Like, our previous numbers are just paltry. Like, paltry. So that's pretty insane. But then this woman, I kind of want to talk about this woman real fast. And I know this is like a long ass episode. I'm so sorry. Now this woman, I'm so bad with names. KP. So KP is, I respect her because she was the one that when, whatchamacallit, Sarah Huckabee Sanders was like, no cameras in the press room. Like, KP was the one that took out her phone and periscoped the meeting that they didn't want to have on camera. So I respect her for that. But she went on some weird ass shit about Kim Kardashian. So Kim, we'll get to this. Where are you? Where are you? Here. So Kim had a long series of tweets herself. Oh. To the media trying to demonize my husband, let me just say this. Your commentary on Kanye being erratic and his tweets being disturbing is actually scary. Which, yeah, we talked about that the day before all of this got addressed with People magazine. Like, that was fucking crazy how much they jumped to the fact that they were saying Kanye was fucking crazy. It was just inappropriate, unprofessional. So Kim calling him out was good. So quick to label him as having mental health issues for just being himself when he has always been expressive is not fair. Yesterday it was announced that Kanye had parted ways with some business people, and media outlets made this about Kanye's mental health rather than just a simple business decision. So I'm glad he tweeted about the state of his company and all of the exciting things happening. He's a free thinker. Is that not allowed in America? Because some of his ideas differ from yours, you have to throw in the mental health card? That's just not fair. He's actually out of the sunken place when he's being himself, which is very expressive. Now, when he spoke out about Trump, most people, including myself, have very different feelings and opinions about this. But this is his opinion. I believe in people being able to have their own opinions, even if really different from mine. He never said he agrees with his politics. Kanye will never run in the race of popular opinion, and we know that, and that's why I love him and respect him. And in a few years, when someone else says the same exact thing, but they aren't labeled the way he is, and you will all praise them. Kanye is years ahead of his time, which has been true about everything that Kanye has done. Every album he's released, all of his point, like his style, his like sense of self, all ahead of the curve. Like, if somebody were to come out today and say that that Donald Trump doesn't care about people, or care about Puerto Ricans, or care about immigrants or care about middle class or care about the poor or anything, care about black people, it wouldn't be shocking in the way that Kanye calling out Bush was shocking. Like, we live in just a very different age of sensationalism and open speech in that regard, that I don't think people would have nearly the same response as Kanye on that show saying what he said. Anyway, so Kim says mental health is no joke and the media needs to stop spitting that out so casually. Bottom line. That's all Kim said. No, it wasn't anything about like Trump being good or bad. It wasn't anything about like modern US political climate. Nothing like that. Media being outrageous, Kanye sharing his opinion and being demonized for it or called out for his mental health for it, and that's it. Nothing. So KP here comes in, Dear Kim, go back to tweeting about makeup and posting nude selfies. Like your husband, you are not qualified to talk about politics. Difference between you and us is we can talk about makeup, but you can't talk about subjects we studied for decades. Like, that's just so insane, because Kim wasn't talking about politics. She was talking about irresponsible media portrayals, irresponsible stories, and the views on her husband and the conversation about her husband. Nothing about politics. So this makes no sense where she's coming from with it. And is entirely condescending. Like, people were freaking out about who's that idiot woman? Lauren, whatever woman was saying that LeBron just needed to shut up and dribble, that he shouldn't have a political stance or have a political opinion. Cohen? Was it Cohen? But this is just in that same line. Like, you don't know about politics, shut the fuck up and just do makeup. Like, really? Really? Like, that's some shit. So this person, Natalie, who I now love, says Kim can talk about whatever she wants. This tweet is extremely elitist and limiting. Kim is defending her husband, and there's nothing wrong with that. You defend free speech so much, but you want to limit hers because she's not qualified? Nah, this is disappointing. I'm gonna like that shit. And then KP comes in with, no, she can talk about whatever she wants, but it is my right to free speech and actually expert assessment to say that she is unqualified, the same way her husband is. It's the fact that she belongs to reality TV and not in the White House newsroom. Like, what the fuck? Like, Kim's not trying to be in the White House newsroom. She's not commenting on the White House. She's not commenting on anything that has to do with the White House. She's only commenting on the portrayal of her husband in the media. It's such an over-the-top and insane thing. And I think it just captures how crazy people are being today with everything that's being said. Like, a lot of people were saying some shit. Jaden Smith tweeted out false idols. It's craziness. Craziness. So, I mean, I do understand being concerned because the current political atmosphere is impacting a lot of people. I personally am very against the current Republican Party, to the fact where, like, I get angry every day at everything that they're doing. Like, it's absurd, the things that are being done in our democracy that aren't democratic at all. So I get where people are coming from in the fact that, like, they're being affected by this. They're seeing people they know being affected by this. And to view the fact that Kanye, who they used to feel was an advocate for them, is now kind of going with this out-of-the-box, futuristic, the details don't matter, I'm supporting this person, I don't really care if he's fucking everybody over, but I liked that he became president because he was a celebrity. That's so cool. So I'm all about that. So I'm going to support him and promote his agenda and empower the people that follow him. I get why people are upset about that. But then at the same time, like, I don't know if the vitriol is deserved. I don't think it is. Especially the shit that I've seen people saying. Like, I don't think any of that's to that degree of just like Kanye's the worst person ever. I saw somebody say that this proves that Kanye was lying about everything he felt throughout the years, and he's actually been like an alt-right person this whole time and was just saying these things to make money, and now that he has money, his real feelings are coming out. And I was trying to say, like, him being a fan of Trump doesn't eradicate everything that Kanye's held, like all the beliefs that we've seen him espouse. And this person was like, yes, it does. So I brought up the situation, like, what if you said that you really still loved Louis C.K.? Like, despite all the sexual harassment stuff, the sexual deviancy, you still liked Louis C.K.'s stand-up and wanted to feel okay watching Louis C.K.'s stand-up. You didn't support what he did, you didn't support the man, but you still laugh at his comedy. And somebody started calling you a rape apologist, that you're defending sexual assaulters, that this erases all the good that you've said and done over the years, that you're actually just this monster for the last, like, the entirety of your life. Would that be fair? And the person said, no, I'm not saying that you can't be a fan of Kanye. I'm just saying that it's stupid, like, that Kanye's not who we thought he was. I was like, you're missing the point. You're missing the point. This is about, like, other people still being a fan of Kanye. It's about Kanye being a fan of Trump and you accusing him of liking all of Trump's policies and embodying all of Trump's policies. Those two things aren't the same. Just the same way that you may not support. I think I'm at the end of my voice. The same way that somebody might not support Louis C.K. but still watch his stand-up and, like, be okay with that. Until we find out more about Kanye's politics, I still don't think Kanye being a Trump supporter in the way he is problematic. Irresponsible? Sure. Promoting Trump with how this cabinet's been, the hatefulness that Trump has had in a lot of his rhetoric, a lot of his tweets. Like, I wouldn't support Trump. I'm not going to support Trump. And I would try to talk Kanye out of supporting Trump. Not talk Kanye out of supporting Trump, but just promoting Trump in that way. Because it's not just about Trump at this point. But this is the same guy that had the Confederate flag, right? He put it on a jacket. He was wearing it. He was trying to give it a different meaning. And we still don't know what Kanye is thinking or feeling. Like, maybe he thinks he's doing the same thing with the MAGA. I want to say MAGA because... MAGA, whatever. Maybe he thinks he's doing the same thing with the MAGA hat. That it's currently a very racially charged thing. And by wearing it, he's de-racializing it. Making it more normal for other people to wear, taking the power from it. But maybe that's just a fan theory. Maybe that's just wishful thinking on my part. We're just going to have to wait and see. And Malik Yusuf talked about maybe this Friday we're going to have more of a longer format interview with Kanye, but it might not be closer to the album. But you know that we're going to discuss it, and hopefully it's not this fucking long because it's 3 a.m. Now to the Yeezus book. If you want to support us, which, Jesus, hell, you can do so on Patreon. If you want to throw some money our way, we're trying to get up to $300 a month, so we can consistently pay artists to create awesome shirts. We have our Runaway shirts almost done. It should be available in the next 7 to 10 days. And then a Hold My Liquor shirt that's coming along. So by being a Patreon subscriber, you'll get discounts to things. You'll get access to the special I think it's going to be 5 episode Patreon only deconstruction of Runaway the movie that we do. And we'll find out some fun other things over time. You can also purchase the Yeezus book. It's up for pre-order. It'll come out June 18th. Available all around the world. That money will go to Travis and I. It'll go to Martin Connor from rapanalysis.com, and it'll go to Donald Martin, who runs the Most Unruly YouTube channel. So if you want to support, a collective of people that put out a lot of Kanye material and do a lot of great work, you can do so through that. You can also just listen to our podcast, follow us on Twitter at Kanye Podcast, or leave a review on iTunes. It's always very helpful. Thank you for watching. Oh, you can subscribe and watch more videos as we're trying to get to 4,000 watch hours. We're currently at 330. So a lot more to go, and we need 1,000 subscribers, and we're at like 176. So this was a doozy. Thanks for bearing with me. Have a nice whatever.